platinum love song slips into a silent scream behind penthouse doors. When sweet intensity mutates into panic and a woman's soul screams the question, is love supposed to feel like danger? Today, we're unpacking the real story behind Cassie and P. Diddy and why so many women stay in relationships that might look glamorous on the outside but feel terrifying on the inside. We're going to break down what trauma bond really is and how to start choosing real safe love instead. Because love, beauty, should feel like oxygen, not adrenaline. And we're reclaiming that truth as the feminine collective. So let's break all these cycles together, beauties, one video at a time, one shot at a time. Welcome to the Absara Academy. This is where we embody real love, soul level healing, and unshakable feminine power. Oh my God, my beauties. Before we dive deeper, right? We have grown to almost, at this moment, 800, what was I thinking, like 500. Right this moment, I see our Academy subscriptions at 858. We've grown. And it feels like in no time, it feels like a blink of an eye for me. I've been watching every update, every new subscriber, every like, every time one of you beauties have shared a video. I just want to say a big thank you, not in a casual way, but really thank you. I see you, I feel you, and it means the world to me. It means a lot. This just isn't like numbers to me, ladies. I know that every view is someone sitting at home, maybe in her car, maybe in bed, trying to make sense of her feelings or her relationships, her patterns. And to know that my words, my voice, this channel, this portal somehow found its way to you, that's something I don't take lightly. And if you're new here, drop your favorite emoji in the comments and let me know how you found us. Was it a shot, one of our crazy recent shots that's blown us up? Or did someone send you a link? Or did you land here through one of our deep dive teaching videos? I would love to know. And if you've been here with me for a while, darling, thank you for being part of this space, being part of my field, for showing up again and again, and for seeing me when I had no subscribers. Honestly, I'm building this for you, for us, for every woman who needs a place where it's safe to be real, to feel deeply, to finally understand why some things hurt the way they do. So, if this content, if these topics and my vibe resonates, hit that like button. And because, ladies, that's what tells YouTube to push it to more women who need it. Yeah? All right. So let's get into today's topic, trauma bonds and the rise of the Holy Grail Woman. Long back, it feels like a lifetime ago, I used to think love had to feel like fire, like that if it didn't consume me fully, if I wasn't like overthinking every text, wondering if I said too much or too little, reading silences like a punishment, I thought I wasn't in love. But when I see, but later on, like, as I grew, as I healed, that's when I realized that I had actually normalized anxiety um, as intimacy. And the worst part, I looked calm on the outside. I looked put together, wise even, but inside I was stuck in a cycle of emotional starvation. I kept choosing men who gave me just enough to stay, but never enough to make me feel fully seen, fully held, feel fully safe. And I used to call it chemistry. But honestly, it was utter emotional and spiritual chaos inside, right? Now, where did all of us first decide that love had to feel like danger to be real? Was it like in the movies? Was it the music? Was it our parents' silence? Or a childhood moment or memory of feeling completely invisible? Or was it your first heartbreak that you never fully healed from? My loves, pause this video if you need to and ask yourself, yeah, where have I mistaken inconsistency for passion? Because that's where the trauma bond begins. That's the root cause, that's the root point. And in that little split between what we truly feel and what we are afraid to admit, right? That's the root. Now here's the truth I need you to hear. This was this is like this was huge for me. So I want you to hear this with your whole heart, right? This is the truth. Your nervous system doesn't lie. If a connection feels like a threat, it's not love. See, when I finally understood that truth, something deep inside me released, unclenched. I stopped blaming myself for being stuck. I stopped calling it loyalty when it was really just my body trying to survive a bond that wasn't safe. And I want you to feel that right now too. This one truth, that your nervous system doesn't lie. This was huge for me back in the day because I realized I wasn't choosing love, I was choosing a pattern that mirrored my earliest wounds. I was loving with my nervous system that was attached to my early wounds and not my full heart. And when I understood that, when we name it and we stop shaming ourselves and condemning ourselves for staying too long, that's the moment. That's where true healing begins, darlings. Yeah? Now, let's break down exactly what a trauma bond is. Not just emotionally, but chemically. Because once you see how your body's been hijacked, literally, you'll stop blaming, shaming, and condemning yourself for being in it, staying in the connection that wasn't even love to begin with. All right? So, what is a trauma bond really? It's not just emotional attachment, yeah? It's a full body addiction fueled by fear, relief, pain, pleasure, and confusion all tangled together. Now I'm gonna share a visual as a metaphor which might help help you understand what trauma bond is, right? Now, I'm sure all of us know what a slot machine is, right? Like in Las Vegas, like in a gambling joint, all we know what a slot machine is. Now, I want you to think of a slot machine, right? Imagine it, a slot machine. You pull the lever, and sometimes he's warm, affectionate, he's adoring you, he's cherishing you. Sometimes he's cold. Sometimes he texts back with hearts. And other times, silence for days, months. And because you don't know which version of him you'll get, your brain releases a burst of dopamine every time there is a reward, right? You literally get hooked, yeah, like gambling. It's an addiction, right? It's an addiction to the unpredictability of it all. And then the crash comes. He either ghosts you, insults you, withholds love, or completely flips the script and physically abuses you, mentally abuses you, verbally abuses you. And your body, right, gets flooded with cortisol and fear chemicals. So we're talking about dopamine hikes along with unpredictable cortisol and fear chemicals. Imagine that, ladies, right? So if this slot machine metaphor landed, let me know in the comment section, yeah? And don't forget to share this video with a sister who might need it. Right, so it's not that Cassie was weak. It's that her nervous system has been trained to survive Diddy. Not love him, survive him. We have to remember this as a collective, ladies. This truth. This truth was huge for me back in the day. The nervous system doesn't lie. If love feels like threat in your nervous system, it's not love. Repeat after me. My nervous system does not lie. If it feels like threat, it's not love. Ladies, if any one of you tuning in relates to this or find yourself in a similar dynamic, firstly, please do not judge yourself for being stuck. Please start seeing yourself through the eyes of compassion, yeah? And I have a few journal prompts here in this video for you that will gently lead you to an inner dialogue, right? Self-reflective inner dialogue that will lead you to healing, that will lead you to deeper understanding, that will lead you eventually to somatic, energetic, and nervous system shifts, right? What is your body trying to tell you? This is the question, ladies. I want you to ask yourself, especially if you find yourself in something similar and you relate to these storylines. What is your body trying to tell you that your mind tries to keep justifying, right? What is your body trying to tell you that your mind tries to keep justifying? Another question I'd like you to ask yourself. Where do you feel anxious? Even when you're being told, I love you, you're my wife, I want to make babies with you on the outside. Where do you feel anxious? See, this is why trauma bonds are so hard to break. They aren't just like bad relationships, right? It's not as simplistic as that. They are literal chemical loops in your system, cycles that keep you like chasing a high from someone who's the source of your pain. Now, see, now that we've understood what's happening inside the body, I want to show you what this might look like in real life, how it plays out in real life. So I'll walk you through, first I'll walk you through the timelines of Cassie and Diddy, how this beautiful, gorgeous, stunning young woman who is full of potential, genius, and talent got pulled into years of invisible emotional captivity, and how her story reflects so many women's silent battles out there. And some of you are tuning in, and I applaud you for that, right? I see you, right? So let me walk you through Cassie's story, right? See, not because she's a celebrity, but because what she lived through is what so many women go through in silence without all of these headlines. So yeah, this is the story. Some of you already know it. For some of you who don't know, this is the plot. Yeah, she met him when she was just 18, 19. This is crazy for me, especially because like my second son, he's 18 years old. And it just blows my mind. I deeply understand how a child at the age of 18 is wired, right? And Diddy, he was in his late 30s. Rich, we're talking rich, powerful, globally admired. We're talking about the era before smartphones and, full on internet. So you can imagine fame and power at that time, right? Global admiration, the top dog, right? He signed her to his label and she moved into his homes. Yeah, he's the talent, he signed her. And then he literally controlled her travels, her schedule, her team, her image, her money. And honestly, if I were to really think about it, in the beginning, it probably to Cassie felt like a dream, like a literal fairy tale, right? Unimaginable for a kid at 18. Imagine that for a moment, right? This rich tycoon, successful, super powerful tycoon, top of his industry, man, larger than life personality, spots you, sees you, right? Recognizes your talent, appreciates your talent, validates your talent initially, right? And he's love bombing you, right? He's chasing you. He wants you. He's showering you with designer gifts, right? Trips, spotlights, glamour, luxury. Imagine being swept away into a world of glamour and luxury as a kid of 18, 19. But slowly behind the scenes, the control was tightening. So now I want to decode some of the textbook red flags when it comes to um, these kind of trauma bonds. So this kind of pattern that Cassie got hooked into, right? It started with glamour. Where is I'll go for a darker color. It started with glamour and then led to captivity. So what are these signs, right? Number one sign, isolation. Isolation from friends, family. Number two, full financial dependence, full financial control. Number three, sexual coercion. Might have been framed as new age ideology, framed as adventure even, right? Next, red flag. All the apologies laced with gifts, over the top apologies, tears and crying and begging, asking you to come back, right? The next red flag, gaslighting. I'm sure many of you would know what gaslighting is, but for those of you who the term is relatively new, what it means is when someone completely negates, manipulates, and see, all of us have our five senses, right? We see reality in a certain way. We see things, we feel things, we hear things, we understand things, right? We also have sixth sense, which might tell us, whisper some things to us. But imagine we are in a relationship where this man is telling you that what you see is wrong, what you are feeling is not right, and belittles you for that. Imagine this person that you are living with, you're going to bed with, who you're intimately connected with, is telling you what you've heard is a lie. What you understand is not right, it's not the right thing. You're too young, you're too dumb, you don't get it. This is how the world works, and I know how the world works, and you don't know, girl, you 18-year-old girl, right? So, gaslighting is when someone completely negates the way you have experienced reality, the way you have seen it, the way you have heard it, the way you understand it, and what your intuition tells you about it, when this person completely says that is wrong. And that can do a number on you. All right? So that is one of the red flags. And another one is this really potent one, which we'll get into in the next little bit, right? It's called the cycle of punishment and reward. What I call in my world, in my courses, in my future courses, I call it the pain pleasure cycle, right? The cycles of punishment and reward. Now, these ladies, all right, all the 6 red flags that I've mentioned, these are like textbook trauma bonding red flags. Because, see, for Cassie, right, it wasn't always bad. And that's what makes it so confusing for a woman's nervous system, for a girl's nervous system. See, one day it's affection, love, compliments. I love you, I want you, I need you, you're my wife, I want to make babies with you. And the other day, and the very next day, it's threat. Then it comes to over the top, apologies and making up sessions and private jets and diamond bracelets. And the very next day, it is control and threats, right? And your body, especially for someone like Cassie, who is in her developmental stage, who is young, who is naive, and who probably comes from an environment where she does not know and she has not embodied and she's never felt the healthy, beautiful templates of real love. So for her, her body clings to the little good that Diddy has sporadically does, right? Because probably her nervous system was starving for even that little good that Diddy brought into her life. I want every woman watching this video to ask yourself this. Have you ever made excuses for someone simply because you've seen their softer side? Have you told yourself, oh, he just needs to heal, while throughout the time ignoring the harm he's causing you? Yeah? So let's get back to Cassie's story. So years went by, right? This pattern repeated. And like so many of us, Cassie likely thought, if I just love him enough, if I just loved him better, if I just changed more, if I just lost that weight, if I just did this, if I just understood him more, if I just followed him, if I just did what he wants me to do, maybe he'll change. If I just love him more, maybe he'll heal, maybe he'll change. But my love, you were never meant to love someone into healing at the cost of your own well-being. That's not love. That's textbook self-abandonment, dressed up in loyalty, misplaced loyalty. Yeah? So the truth finally came out with Cassie, right? She filed the lawsuit. The details, of course, were horrifying to many: coercion, threats, violence, surveillance, sexual misconduct, yada, yada, yada. And yet, for many of us watching, it didn't feel very surprising, yeah? Because whether it's a billionaire in a penthouse or a boyfriend in a one-bedroom apartment, the patterns of control, manipulation, and emotional addiction pretty much look the same. See, that's why we're having this conversation, because her story is not an isolated case. I want you guys to see her story as a mirror that we can learn from, that we can heal through, right? And through this mirror, when we name things, ladies, right, the way I explain, and teach to you through this video, I want to show you, right, when we name things, a lot of things comes up to the light and towards healing. See, I want to show you how this happens, all right? Trauma bond happens in a very deep identity level through what I call in my world, in my future courses, the wounded feminine spectrum. I'll get to that in a bit, right? I want to get back to Cassie's story for a moment. See, like so many of ours, sorry, it's been a very long day and I just lost my train of thought for there for a minute. It's literally 12 o'clock at night here. See, like Cassie, when many of us have never really felt real, true love's template through our familial environments, the families that we were born with, in our childhood experiences, what happens when we've never felt safe in love, when we've never been fully seen or fully loved or fully protected, provided for, like fully held? The chances of us falling into such patterns is highly likely, right? Now I'm gonna draw something on my trusty whiteboard here, and I'm gonna call it the trauma bond cycle. All right, we have 4 quadrants here, and each quadrant represents a moment, a phase, or something that the guy does. All right, the first quadrant, the first phase, the first moment, the first phase of the relationship is love bombing. The second phase is devaluation. It's like negating your value, depleting your value, cutting you down, taking your value away. It might play out in so many different ways, yeah? So it starts with love bombing, it goes into devaluation, and then it goes into disorientation. All right, like literal brain fog, confusion, lost, gaslit. You don't trust yourself. You've lost your identity, right? You just become a puppet to this person. Your mind, your true thoughts, your true feelings, your true senses are not not intact, because it's been disoriented, all right, and devalued through all of this gaslighting that's happening, all right. And after that, there is this moment or phase in the relationship, which is the reconciliation. How do I spell reconciliation? Pardon my spelling, ladies. English is not my mother tongue, it's my second language, so bear with me, yeah? Give me some grace. Right, so all right, so this is the circular cycle, all right, of trauma bonding. This is pretty much the endless loop women like Cassie had gotten trapped into. This is the nervous system confusing, addictive pattern, the pain pleasure cycle, as I call it, right? I hope that landed and that helped you understand trauma bonding a little better. I learned through visuals, so that's why we have our trusty whiteboard here. Let me know in the comments if you learn through visuals as well. Yeah. Right, so another way I can explain trauma bonds, all right, the red flag pyramid, I call it, all right. It has 3 segments. The top, fairy tale, that's seen in the public, over the top, grand gestures, fantastical, all right, which slowly becomes the prison. But you know what I'm talking about, right? We're talking glamour, the private jets, we're talking gifts, we're talking trips, right? Islands, fancy islands, getaway, praises, compliments, words of affirmation, loving adoration, and cherishment, and all of those things. So that's the cloud in the top. And then the middle phase is confusion. Confusion. Why? Because of silent treatment, gaslighting, as I mentioned, or like putting you down, belittling you, calling you too sensitive, and whatnot, right? It can play itself out in so many different ways. And then let's get into the deep, dark bottom pit of it all, the control phase. The control phase. And that's dark. That's dark. We're talking isolation here. We're talking complete financial entrapment here. We're talking threats and fears, right? So this is where Cassie was. Not that, don't forget that she's lived this and she's had this too, right? So this is why when, and I'm to be honest, when I first came to know about this story, when it first entered my world, the first question when I saw her picture, and the first question immediately that my mind went to, right, was like, why didn't she just leave? And I'm pretty sure many of you've had this question, yeah, and you've asked yourself this: why this gorgeous, beautiful, talented young little thing? Why didn't she just leave? But see, ladies, when you've never seen healthy love modeled your entire life, when you've been taught to earn love, when you've been taught to overgive, sacrifice yourself, abandon yourself, go through suffer, pain to feel love, right? And imagine you're coming from that kind of an environment where there is absolutely no template of love at all. Maybe you've never even felt love. No one mirrored love to you in the healthy, right, safe way. And then you're experiencing this, and yes, this, and yes, this. But leaving, why didn't she just leave? Leaving maybe didn't feel safe for her, because what is she going to leave this for? Right? Leaving actually might, this is not healthy, yeah, but leaving this might have even felt like death for her, right? This is why, ladies, see, this is why we need to talk about the wounded feminine spectrum, which I will get to shortly, I promise you. So this isn't about blame, right? It's about naming the states we enter when we're being surviving instead of thriving in love. Now, okay, let's get into this wounded feminine spectrum, right? And all of you beauties who've been in my field and supporting my work and watching my channel from the time I didn't have any subscribers, you know what I'm talking about with the wounded feminine spectrum, yeah? So let's say this is a spectrum. You know what a spectrum is, right? Like everything, I believe in spectrums, the law of spectrum. Like if you look at white and black, there's a huge range of colors in between, right? One extreme is white and the other extreme is black. But then in between, you have little lesser white and grays and little darker grays, and then the extreme black color. So this is what we call a spectrum. Now, one end of the spectrum, in our wounded feminine spectrum, we have the what I call masculinized woman, right? On the other end, or other extreme end of the spectrum, we have what I call the collapsed feminine. Who is the masculinized woman? If you ask me, we're talking about the hyper independent, doesn't trust anyone, uses logic to override her own emotions all the time, and who probably works. One of her belief systems that she works with is I'll protect myself at all costs, right? So that's one archetype, one extreme at one extreme end of the spectrum, and the other extreme end of the spectrum, we have the collapsed feminine. Now, what is that archetype? Now, she is the people pleaser. She is the um, poster child of the freeze response, as I will call it. I don't want to digress here, but if this sort of lands, and if you're more curious to know about the freeze response, which I truly believe many women, including me, hold in our nervous system, there is one of my previous videos I strongly recommend you go and watch, because that's not just a video, a teaching video, right? It's a deep dive video. It's a mini masterclass, and it's a complete embodiment workshop, right? With a lot of rituals, with a lot of practice tools, with a lot of mantras, journal prompts, and everything. It's very powerful, very potent. I would strongly recommend you go and watch it. I probably, if I remember, mental note, add it to my description of this video. I'll give you the link on the video that where I've expanded on this freeze response that many of us women have in our embedded in our nervous systems. Yeah, right. So sorry for the little digress. I'm back. I'm getting back. So the collapsed feminine, right? People pleasing. She's mostly in her freeze response. She's addicted to mere crumbs of attention, right? And she probably works under the belief system, whether she knows it consciously or she doesn't, that if I love him enough, maybe he'll change. Does it sound familiar? Does it give you Cassie vibes? Right? So now, in the middle of it all, I wouldn't call it middle. Okay, this is the wounded feminine spectrum. Now, even in this, right, everything has a lower octave, like a lower vibrational frequency, and a higher octave, higher vibrational frequencies, right, which has alchemized, healed all this, and elevated and ascended itself, and the wisdoms, the beliefs, the mindsets, the frequency, the codes of all this, right? So the masculinized woman, there is also a higher version of her. And same with the collapsed feminine, there's a lower frequency version and a higher frequency version of the collapsed feminine, right? Now, the Holy Grail Woman, right? The woman who holds the Absara codings. She is one who has embodied this, the higher octave of the masculine woman. She has embodied the higher octave of the collapsed feminine, and she is alchemized and embodied it all, and she is a class of her own. All right, so the Holy Grail Woman is someone who is self-sourced. What do I mean by that? Again, in my future videos, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification button, because we have juicy content dropping into this channel every week, ladies, right? So what were we talking about? Ugh. I need my cup of coffee. So so this Holy Grail Woman, she holds the Absara codings, and all of these things I'll be um, getting into in detail in this channel. Lots of free content for you in my books in the future that I'm going to be releasing, and of course my future courses, right? She is self-sourced. Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. This is a state that I call the true north alignment. It's the pure alignment that the Holy Grail Woman has embodied within her. And this is where she self sources everything from. So, in this way, she's emotionally independent, she's spiritually independent, and she's completely self sourced because of her true north pure alignment. If it all sounds like mumbo jumbo to you, that's okay. Keep tuning in to my content, one video at a time, one shot at a time. And if you're called to, please look at investing in yourself through my future courses, and all of these things will, the pieces or the puzzle will fall for you in divine timing, all in divine timing. Just stay with me here, all right? If a lot of things go above your head, that is totally fine. There is nothing called perfection here, all right? Especially in this field, in my field, there is nothing called perfection. So let all of those high standards down, yeah? Just hold high standards for love and with a man, and hold yourself with grace, compassion, and empathy. So, coming back, the Holy Grail Woman who's coded with the Absara codes, she is self-sourced because she knows she has the tools to be in the true north pure aligned state. She is soft and strong. I know these two words might sound contradictory, but it's the truth. She can be soft. She'll have such a soft feminine um, outside, right? She people can feel her warmth. People can feel her true, authentic uh, heart, right? So strong, but also has a she's very soft on the outside, but very strong on the inside. All right, and she values safety over intensity, right? I do today. I value my peace and my safety over any kind of chemistry and intensity and up and down dramas. So she operates under a belief system. She has many belief systems, but this is one of her core belief systems, and it says, I don't chase love. I've already anchored love within. So why do I have to chase it outside of me? Right? Now, so these are the three archetypes. Now, some of us might be extremely polarized here, some of us might be extremely polarized there. Now, these ladies will not have too many men stepping up for them, protecting them, providing for them, whatnot, right? These ladies, strangely enough, might have men stepping up for them, protecting them, providing for them. However, there'll be no respect. There'll be no honor. They will not be adored, cherished. All right. They might be protected out of obligation. They might be provided for out of obligation, but it will not be genuine, right? So they will not be the muse. They will not hold that powerful, influential role in their man's life. Comparatively, these women might have their freedom and their independence. However, it's much more lonely, right? For these women. So I used to be her, so I get her. Right. So some of us, right? Some of us might be extremely polarized here. Some of us might be extremely polarized there. Some of us might be swinging, right? Between these two ends. How does that play out? Like fighting to stay in control one day, all right? and then begging to be chosen and loved and adored and cherished and recognized in so many different ways the very next day. But see, ladies, we were never really meant to live in either extreme beauties. The Holy Grail Woman is the part of you that remembers who you were before the world told you that love had to hurt, that love is painful. All right, she's sovereign. She's emotionally and spiritually self resourced. She's not afraid to walk away from chaos because she knows her worth, right? She values her energies. So ask yourself this question: know thyself. Self knowledge is godly. Ask yourself this question: which version of you, my loves, shows up mostly in love? Which version of you shows up in love? Is it the fighter who doesn't trust anyone, especially the masculine? Or is it the collapsed girl who clings to a relationship even if it hurts her? Or are you the woman who chooses herself even when it's hard? Which one are you? Let me know in the comments. No shame here, darlings. It's only self-knowledge. All right? So now I want to take you through a very small mindset shifting practice, right? So I'd like you to just breathe with me. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just be comfortable with the rhythm of your own breathing. And I want you to repeat after me if you can, if that's possible, or whisper this to yourself or listen to yourself deeply. Say these words in your own mind, right? In your own mind's voice to yourself. Repeat after me, darlings. I choose to rise from my wounds, not build my entire identity around them. I choose to rise from my wounds and not allow my entire identity to be built around them. Breathe that in, my loves. See, because the moment you choose to leave the spectrum, you begin the journey back to your throne. Right. So let's keep moving, shall we? Now, I want to talk about this thing. People in the industry, psychology, they would know this term, but many of us don't. All right. So it is called coercive control. Coercive. Grace. Spellings are not one of my best strengths. Okay, so it's called coercive control. What it looks like is coercive, right? It's not overt. It's not obvious control. It's coercive. It's under the ground control. What does it look like? And why is it hard to pinpoint and name? And most importantly, how to protect your energy before you get pulled into another emotional loop. Yeah? Coercive control. I call it the hidden abuse that doesn't leave bruises. Right? It's not obvious. Let's talk about something many women experience, beauties, but rarely have the language for, to name it, to explain it. It's called the coercive control. It's not about fists, right? It's about the fear beneath the punch. The worst part, it often wears the mask of love. It does. Coercive control is when someone uses subtle, strategic tactics to manipulate your thoughts, isolate you from your support systems, and keep you walking on eggshells without ever raising their voice. Let's get into the phases of coercive control now, shall we? All right. Oh, I've written it. Okay. Yes. The silent poison, right? What are some of the coercive control tactics? We've already spoken about a couple of them. The first one, of course, is gaslighting, right? Saying you're crazy. Oh, that thing never happened. That thing that you saw, that never happened. That thing that you heard, you are lying. What's wrong with you? You are crazy. That never happened. Oh, you sense something. What are you? Are you mad? Right? So, gaslighting is one phase of coercive control. The second one is jealousy. Jealousy, see, I truly believe there's a higher octave, positive frequency of jealousy too, which can be super hot, so cool, so fun, right? Makes you feel so special. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this shadowy, jealous frequency that could be framed as care and protection, right? It's like, I just don't like you hanging out with your mother, with your father, with that person, with her, right? That's jealousy that's masked as care and protection, ladies. High quality masculine men, right? The husbandry, in my world we call them the husbandry coded kings or the emperors. They would, of course, it's inbuilt in their DNA to protect you, all right? But they will not have, and protection has got nothing to do with isolating you from your support structures, right? Your family, your friends, your finances, your creativity. No, right? The next form of coercive control is monitoring, right? Like monitoring your phones, your social media. Ladies, that's not real love. That is a form of coercive control. Yeah, that is not care. That is not protection. Right. The next phase of it, another facet of it is what I would call like financial control, right? Utter and full, complete financial control. I'll take care of it because I don't want you to work. You're my wife. Don't work, right? Now, if that's what you want to do and that's great with you and that's how you live your best life, that's fine. But it's my humble opinion, ladies, that if you have a passion and if you have a drive and if you're creative and if you want to create something in the world, or if you want to study or get that degree and everything, a divine high quality masculine mind, the husbandry coded man or the emperor coded man, will never stop you from it. He will support you through it. Like for instance, right? I'm creating this YouTube channel and on a topic that very close to my heart, and my husband has just set up the entire technology for me to just hop on here and create. So that's support. That's what a husbandry coded king would do, or an emperor who probably has more resources would do it in a bigger fashion for you. He will not, especially if you have that creative spirit, or and you want to do something, right? And it's good for you. He's not going to say, don't do that, stay at home, cook for me, clean for me, make babies for me. Nope. That is coercive control, right? That's all back in the days, ladies. We're shedding that. We're shedding all of those things, all right? These are quite rampant in the Asian culture. See, P.S. If a woman truly, 100% of her truly enjoys staying at home, loves cooking for her family, cleaning the home and making babies and taking care of them and nurturing them and nourishing in them, being a housewife, that's beautiful. Nothing wrong, as long as that is your core desire, right? And your husband supports that, provides you with the spaciousness and everything required for you to enjoy that. But what if your passions and creative expression is towards creating art, painting, music, right? The husband coded man, or the emperor coded man will support you through that as well. So be wary of that, ladies. And of course, another phase of this kind of control is sexual coercion, masked as intimacy or adventure, like, oh, this new age that. And if you are all for it, full body, full nervous system, it's a yes for you, whatever, ladies. But for most of the women I know, me being a woman myself, all of these new age adventurous explorations, it's not for us. But many of these men in your life might sexually coerce you into these activities and mask it as new age thinking and cutting edge thought, and masked as care and intimacy even, and masked as adventure or whatnot, right? So be wary. Yes, you heard it from me. Be wary. Remember the truth. If it's a no for your nervous system, honor that, respect that. That is your truth. Don't try to override your nervous system that feels anxious, jealous, possessive, or see, everything has a higher octave to it, yeah? So if your nervous system is feeling fear and anxiety and crazy ups and downs, it's going through hurt and pain and confusion, do not try to override it, even with spirituality. Do not try to spiritually bypass it and like try to follow your man who's trying to sexually coerce you, and masking it with spirituality and new thought and intimacy or care or whatever. Yes, you heard it from me. Right. Another aspect of coercive control is withholding affection to punish you. Consciously withholding affection to punish you. It's not like, hey, sweetie, I'm going through some things. Yes, we've had this little tiff, this little riff. I need to just take a breather. I need to go play with my boys. I need to go this. I'm here. I will be here. I'll come back. I just need to get a breather. I need some space. And I'm here, I'll come back. I'm always here. That is different, all right? But deliberately withholding affection to punish you, that is not real love, right? And the seventh one, sorry, I've not listed it on my board, all right? The sixth one is withholding affection. The seventh one is threats that sound like a joke. But your nervous system, your senses feels it as a threat, but then they mask it as a joke. Oh, I was just joking about that, all right? So ladies, these tactics, right? These are all freaking consciously calculated. And they keep you in a fog of self-doubt. You start questioning your memory, right? You start filtering your words before speaking. You can't be your true self. You make yourself smaller. You make yourself quieter. You make yourself lesser, right? So these are all the consequences of experiencing these things in your relationship, ladies. All right. So I have our first journal prompt now. I hope go pause this video, go grab your journal and your pen and come back when you're ready. We're right here. The first journal prompt, ladies. Right? Take a moment. Get into the space of this moment. Sink as deeply as you can into this precious, sacred moment. Get in touch with the honesty of your heart. This is all to know yourself truly, to know your heart truly, as deeply as possible, because everything starts with self-knowledge. Know yourself. It's godly to know yourself. Gently ask yourself this question. Have you ever felt like you couldn't fully be yourself in a relationship and you didn't know why? Have you felt relief when your man is in a good mood, but anxiety creeps in when he walks into the room? That's not love. That's your nervous system reacting to unspoken control. And sweetheart, the moment you name it, you begin to dismantle it, right? The power it holds dissipates the moment you can cognitively name something, right? So, right, I want to share this energetic protection practice with you. It's called the Circle of Sovereignty. Take it on faith, ladies, even if you're not into spirituality or energetic intelligence is not something that you've learned or embodied at the moment. Just take this practice on faith, all right? Everything is energy, everything is vibration, everything is frequency. Science has proven it, right? So this practice, this ritual, if I were you, especially if you relate to these things and you find yourself in such relationships, if I were you, I would do this practice or similar practices once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once at night before I go to bed, to create a circle of sovereignty for your energies, for your truth, for your frequencies. Okay, so this is how it works. What I want you to do is imagine like drawing a glowing circle around your body, like 360 degrees. It's a oval, right? Circle around your body. In this oval, right? In this circle, only love, truth, and respect are allowed to enter. So every time someone tries to control you, coerce you, or collapse your voice, you visualize that this circle, right, repelling the manipulation with silence and strength. Soft and strong, remember? So this is pretty much your energetic no. Am I landing, ladies? Does this resonate? See, you don't have to scream to protect yourself, right? The Absara coded Holy Grail Woman can draw her boundaries, can say no, even in her soft strength, energetically. So you don't have to scream to protect yourself. 99.999% of the time, your energy does your talking. Your energy protects yourself. So you just have to stop allowing access, beauties. Let me repeat that. You just have to learn how to stop allowing access. All right, let's just do a small sinking into the moment. Let's just take this sacred moment, this precious sacred moment, to sink into this moment right now. I would want you to place your heart on your hand on your heart, another hand on your womb if you're called to, right? And repeat after me. Connect with your breath, your inhale and your exhale. Maybe you can feel the beat of your heart, and repeat after me, beauties. I release every form of silent control I've ever been living under. I step into clear seeing, clear knowing, and clear boundaries. I protect my peace. I honor my truth. I choose safety over seduction. Now, I want you to gently allow yourself to gently get into the space of radical self honesty without any shame, ladies. You know what we're talking about here. There's no perfection in my field, there's no perfection here. There is only radical, radical self inquiry, self honesty, radical self compassion, empathy, without any shame, judgment, self criticism. That is what this field is about. That is what this portal is about. All right? Now and forever. So if you like that vibe, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Right. So, I don't want us to see everybody as villains and victims, yeah? But as women, we've been programmed to literally abandon our own power to feel loved. Let's accept that truth. So I want to ask you something tender, gentle, but rawly honest. This is the question, ladies. Where have you become your own captor? Now we're getting into the meat and bones of it. Now we are getting somewhere. This is the question. Take your journal out if you must. Pause this video if you must, and come back when you've finished answering this question in depth with full radical self-compassion, honesty, empathy, no censorship. This is where the magic lies. This is the inner work. This is the healing work. This is the embodiment work. This is where the shift lies. The question is, where have you become your own captor? Where are you still gaslighting yourself? Where do you say yes, yes, yes when it's a full body no? When your body and your nervous system is screaming no, you say a yes. Where do you withhold love from yourself? Where are you unsafe for yourself? Where do you give love to yourself only when you perform, only when you prove, only when you do that thing, only when you please someone? Where do you love yourself and recognize yourself and accept yourself? Only when? I hope that makes sense. Because yes, 100% darlings, there are men out there who are manipulators, who are predators and all of that. Yes, of course, 100% there are power imbalances in relationships. Of course, 100% there are emotional predators and trauma bonds. But sometimes the most dangerous Diddy out there lives inside your own psyche. Bella, come here. Come here, please. Let me repeat that again, ladies. The most dangerous Diddy out there is the one in your own psyche, not out there. The internal inner saboteur, the inner Diddy. Right? So I'm going to draw two columns here to make this so much so this teaching really lands. We're talking about your inner Diddy here. My inner Diddy. Right? The inner saboteur and the dialogues this inner Diddy has with you. Right? What does he say? Oh, you're not pretty enough. Oh, you're too much. You're too fat. Oh, you're not fair enough. Oh, your nose is not pretty enough. Who is your inner Diddy and what does he say? Does he say you're too much or not too much? Does he say he won't love you if you speak? That he will only love you if you are quiet? What does your inner Diddy tell you? Does your inner Diddy inner Diddy tell you, don't rock the boat? Don't be needy. Does your inner Diddy does your inner Diddy tell you to be like, be too sexy, show it all off? Or does he tell you, cover it all up, don't show anything? Or does your inner Diddy tell you, oh my gosh, girl, you must be grateful that he even chose you. You must be grateful that he even stayed after knowing all this about you. What does your inner Diddy tell you, my beauty? Versus your inner truth. I'm drawing a big, bright sunshine around it. Your inner truth. It probably says at times that you're allowed to take up space. It tells you at times, maybe through someone, maybe through me, maybe through channels like this and portals like this, that your voice is sacred, that your safety matters, that you're worthy of devotion, that you're worthy of adoration and being cherished. And that leaving is not failure, it could be freedom, it's freedom. So let's take a moment to listen to which voice we are obeying. Are you obeying your inner Diddy? Or are you obeying your inner truth? You don't have to tell me, darlings. It's for you to know. Know yourself. Know thyself. That is where everything starts. Now, if this is possible, and if you're called to, I'd like you all to close your eyes, if it feels safe. I want you to picture a young version of you. Maybe she was 18, maybe 25. Maybe that was just a year ago. Imagine she's sitting on the floor after another emotionally draining night. She wants to call a friend, to share, to vent, to cry. She wants to cry. She wants to ask, why does this hurt so much? But she doesn't. She stays quiet. And she tells herself, this is just how love works. Can you go to her now? Can you sit beside her? Take her hand. Give her your ultimate presence. Give her your wholehearted, radical compassion, empathy, and love and understanding. Give her everything that she needs. Tell her you don't have to earn love like this anymore, because you just don't. If you've closed your eyes, I'd like you to open it. Grab your journal again. I'm going to give you journal prompt number 2. Pause this video if you must and come back to it after you've fully answered this question, yeah? So gently ask yourself this. Where have I been emotionally abandoning myself in the name of love? Where have I been emotionally abandoning myself in the name of love? Let the truth come out. No censoring, no shame, no judgments, no condemnation. Let it all come out. Just see it. Just observe it. Just presence. Give it your full presence, your sacred presence. Feel every feeling. Cry every tear. Shed every emotion that's attached with what wants to be released with answering this question. Right? Now I'd like you to place your hand on your chest. Feel your breath. Breathe comfortably and feel into your breath. You are no longer a woman who stays just to be chosen. You are becoming the woman who chooses herself again and again and again, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Yeah? All right, ladies. Now I want to talk about a little bit about the codes of the Holy Grail Woman. Yeah, I want to end this video with this. On a high note, the Holy Grail Woman is the one who is already inside you, who remembers that she is not here to be owned, saved, or to be fixed, but she's here to be witnessed, worshipped, and held in truth, held in honor. My loves, see, you are not a woman made to be chosen like an object in a store, yeah? You are not a muse. You are not a man's savior or his second chance project, yeah? Though men might experience all of this in your mere presence, right? Because the truth is, this is the whole truth. And if you hold the Absara codings of the Holy Grail Woman, you know this is the truth when I'm speaking this into you. And if you don't know this as the truth, if it lands in your ears, in your being as something weird and something off and woohoo, and that's okay too. Just stay with me here. Stay in my field. All right? Whatever you're doing in your relationship is not working. Yeah? That is why you clicked on this video. So stay with me here. Even if this sounds woohoo. But just stay with me and take this on faith. Faith is believing in things that is yet to be seen. Take this on faith. Lady, yes, I'm talking to you. You're the one who clicked on this video and it came by your feed and you clicked on it and you've stayed this far. Listen to me. You are the altar. You are the portal. You are the Holy Grail Woman. Yeah, in my future courses, I'll teach you step by step on how to embody her and how to become her. Right? So don't forget to hit the notification button so you will be notified when I drop my courses. The first comers, ladies, always get my courses at a massive discount. All right? Now, so who is the Holy Grail Woman? She is not a fantasy, yeah? She is not an outward in aesthetic. All right? She is you underneath all of your survival patterns. She is the woman you were before the heartbreak, before the betrayal, before the programming and conditioning that this world taught you to shrink to be loved. She doesn't confuse attention for affection. The Holy Grail Woman knows what is attention and what is affection. She doesn't need to be chosen to feel worthy. She knows she is she's worthy. She never trades her safety for a few seconds of validation, my loves. Right? She knows what is external validation and she knows what her worth is and what her safety is, and she will never exchange her worth or her safety for few seconds of validation. I hope that landed. Now I want to help you understand another thing through another visual, yeah? You know what a Venn diagram is, right? So I'm going to draw this Venn diagram, and all of these three circles meet at this common point here, yeah? So this space here includes the codes of this circle, this separate circle, and this separate circle. So, excuse me. The Holy Grail Woman, who is embodied with the Absara codes, she is her safety is self-sourced. She's self-sourced when it comes to her safety. Right? If it doesn't land, it's okay. Just let it just go over your head, and that's okay. See, whatever lands, let it land. Everything else, just let it go on. But stay with me. Listen to every shot. Listen to every video. Keep coming back. Keep investing in yourself. Keep investing in your own evolution and your own self-love and your own self-honor and your own ascension. You will get it in time, ladies. All right? Even though some of these things might be mumbo jumbo, at the moment it's okay. The second thing that she holds is this contradictory thing called soft power. She's soft on the outside, feminine on the outside, and powerful core on the inside.